Feeling a shift in the air, Jupiter moved into Gemini, and it will bring big changes to your life, changes that happen only once in 12 years. Join me and find out how this powerful transit might affect your zodiac sign and what you can do to make the most out of it. Hello stars, my name is Beatrice. I'm a professional astrologer, and today I'm going to talk about a very important celestial event, Jupiter's transit through Gemini. Jupiter, the planet of optimism, growth, abundance, wisdom and luck, will be in this zodiac sign between the 25th of May 2024 and the 9th of June 2025. This means that you have a whole year to enjoy important changes in certain areas of your life. To find out what areas will be influenced in your case, please watch the horoscope for your zodiac sign later in this video. I recommend you also watch the horoscope for your ascendant, also called rising sun. One other thing that you should do, think about what important things happened in your life between June 2012 and June 2013, the last time when Jupiter was in Gemini. This time it could influence the same areas of your life that it affected back then. Gemini is an air sign that rules over the intellect, communication, trade, traffic and means of transport. The transit of Jupiter through Gemini heralds a period of expansive intellectual growth, vibrant communication and diverse social connections. Jupiter takes approximately 12 years to orbit the Sun, spending roughly 1 year in each zodiac sign. As it traverses through Gemini, profound shifts in collective consciousness and individual experiences are anticipated, ones that happen only once in 12 years. Gemini represents duality, versatility, and curiosity. Under its influence, Jupiter's expansive energy is channeled into the realm of ideas, communication, and networking. This transit encourages us to broaden our mental horizons, explore diverse perspectives, and embrace the multiple facets of the world around us. On a personal level, Jupiter in Gemini inspires intellectual curiosity and thirst for knowledge. It encourages us to engage in lifelong learning, pursue intellectual interests, and expand our mental repertoire. This is a good time to enroll in courses, attend workshops, or embark on intellectual journeys that stimulate our minds and broaden our understanding of the world. Furthermore, Jupiter in Gemini enhances our communication skills and fosters meaningful connections with others. It encourages open dialogue, exchange of ideas, and collaboration, making it easier for us to articulate our thoughts and connect with people from diverse backgrounds. It will also be easier for us to form new friendships and alliances. During this transit, we will be more open-minded, versatile, and optimistic. This is also a time when we will have the feeling that we don't have to choose only one thing that we want to do to the detriment of others. Instead, we will have enough motivation and energy to pursue 2 or more important goals. Let's say, for example, that you want to turn a hobby into a business, but you haven't done this yet because you have a full-time job. Maybe you thought that you won't have enough time to start a side hustle. Well, now you could find a way to do both, to start your business while still being a full-time employee. Jupiter has many positive effects, but also some negative ones. As I said, it is the planet of growth, meaning that it will also enhance some of the negative sides of Gemini. One of them is that we will get bored easily, meaning that we are likely to quickly give up on certain projects and goals if we don't see immediate results. We could also become superficial, too enthusiastic, and have utopic expectations. Moderation in everything we do and thinking realistically are now very important. There will also be too much information, and it's important to filter the information that we get. Last but not least, we will have many thoughts and we will want to do many things at the same time. The challenge for all of us will be to find ways to focus on what's really important. Now that we've seen how Jupiter in Gemini affects us personally, let's see how this transit affects us on a global level. During the next year, we will witness advancements in communication technology, media, and information exchange. There will be many innovations in social media platforms, networking tools, and digital communication channels transforming the way we connect and interact with one another. Since Jupiter is in an air sign, we could get a lot of news related to air, for example about advancements in the fields of aircraft and space exploration. I expect stronger solar storms and solar flares during the next months, probably stronger in August 2024. On the negative side, Jupiter in Gemini could lead to stronger storms, tornadoes, and hurricanes until June 2025. Jupiter rules, amongst others, over religion and philosophical beliefs. Gemini is open-minded and is connected to the media, as mentioned earlier. While Jupiter is in this sign, we could witness important religious, ethical, or philosophical debates. I expect them to trigger a shift in the society, people becoming less conservative and more open to accept diversity. The Pope or other important religious figures will probably be more present in the media than before, either because they want to reach a larger mass of people or because of a scandal. It could be them who start the debates that I've mentioned. At this point, it's also worth mentioning that when the current Pope, Francis, was elected, Jupiter was also in Gemini. Talking about the society being more open to embrace new things, I want to mention something that happened the last time Jupiter was in Gemini. It was the time of two important milestones in K-pop that led to this musical genre gaining international popularity. Shortly after Jupiter entered Gemini, the song Gangnam Style by Psy was released and it became an international hit. On YouTube, it was the most viewed video of all times. When that happened, Jupiter was transiting the first house in the astrological chart of South Korea. This house represents, among others, the way other people see us. Suddenly, people started being interested to learn more about the Korean culture and started seeing South Korea in a more positive way. In 2013, just a few days before Jupiter left Gemini, BTS had their debut, a band that would become a huge international success, the most popular K-pop group to date, and that paved the way for other K-pop and Asian acts. This time Jupiter was in the second house in South Korea's astrological chart, representing finances. And indeed, BTS had an important positive effect on the country's economy. The group generates the equivalent of an estimated 4 to 5 billion US dollars each year, not just by selling albums, concert tickets, and merchandising, but also indirectly, for example, by attracting tourists to South Korea. In this chart from 2018, BTS is mentioned as one of the biggest brands that contributed to South Korea's GDP, together with companies like Samsung and Hyundai. Needless to say that I'm very excited to see what happens in K-pop during the next months. Will we get a second Gangnam Style? And which of the groups that form now could become BTS's successor? While it transits the sign of Gemini, Jupiter will be retrograde between the 8th of October 2024 and the 3rd of February 2025. During this time, Jupiter urges us to think about what truly makes us happy. After the boost that it brings in the areas that I mention later in your horoscope, between October and February things could move forward a bit slowly or not at all. But now it's the best time to review what you've done in the months before and to adjust some things if needed. It's a good time to think about your future, emphasizing both spiritual and material growth, and to strive to become the best version of yourself. There will be a lot of commotion mid-August and in the second half of the month. On the 14th and 15th, we have Mars conjunct Jupiter but also square Saturn. We have the planet of action and aggressiveness activating the planet of expansion, but also the planet related to limitations. On a personal level, we might feel very eager to put our plans into action, but for some reason that might not be possible, thus leading to frustration. On the 19th of August, we have full moon in Aquarius and also many aspects between the planets, the most important one being Jupiter square Saturn. This is also a transit with a longer effect because this square will also form in December 2024 and again in June 2025. On a personal level, this day will also bring frustration. On one hand, we are quite optimistic and want to move forward, but on the other hand, we must be ready to face surprises and limitations. Some external factors will make it harder for us to reach our goals, and this will make us have less self-confidence. Whatever happens on this day, be it positive or negative, might not be completed now. It could take even a few months until we have a resolution, or the same topic could pop up again during the following months. On a global level, there will be a lot of tensions and maybe some unpleasant surprises in August. There could be some catastrophes or similar events, especially related to fire and air, for example, stronger solar storms and solar flares. Because we also have the energies of Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn combined, being like an instant pot cooking under pressure, a stronger earthquake, explosion, or higher volcano activity are also not excluded. This could also be a time of clash of ideas. There will be more discussions on topics like ethics, moral values, principles, philosophy, religion, and beliefs. All structures and the conservative way of thinking represented by Saturn are in conflict with the open-minded Jupiter. Last but not least, there's also another thing that I will keep an eye on, and that's what happens in the United States of America. President Joe Biden was elected 4 years ago when Jupiter and Saturn formed a conjunction. At that time, I published a video in another language where I talked about the meaning of that conjunction for the United States. What caught my eye was the following. There were 9 US presidents who couldn't finish their term. Out of these 9 politicians, 5 became president in a year with a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction or when the two planets were in the same sign. There are also 3 other persons who became president when Jupiter was conjunct Saturn and they finished their terms, but there were attempts to assassinate them. There is too little information to say for sure that a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction represents problems for the US presidents, but these 2 planets become important again for Biden in August 2024. Exactly on the day when the Jupiter-Saturn square is formed, the Democratic National Convention begins. During this convention, Biden's party nominates its candidates for the upcoming presidential election. There are some tensions in the astrological chart of the United States for that period of time, but even worse is the horoscope of Joe Biden. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn form hard aspects related to his career and public image. I wouldn't be surprised to see more news about Biden in the media, not only in August but also during the following months. These were the general information about Jupiter in Gemini. Now I'm going to talk about how it influences each zodiac sign. I'll put the timestamps in the description, so feel free to jump directly to your zodiac sign. And also watch the horoscope for your ascendant. Last but not least, I am curious to know how you plan to use the positive power of Jupiter in Gemini. Please let me know in the comments down below. During the next year, you will communicate a lot, dear Aries. It's a period of time when you'll have to network a lot, but also your communication with siblings and neighbors will get better. If your job requires good communication skills, for example because you are a journalist, an author, or trader, your career will also benefit from this transit. Another group who will benefit from Jupiter in Gemini are students and persons who must learn, take an exam, or hold a public speech during the next month. Maybe you need to learn a new way to communicate, for example because you moved to another country. If that's the case, Jupiter will help you learn faster. The next few months will also be good for negotiations. If you want a raise or if you need to negotiate a contract, you'll do that in better terms. And last but not least, Jupiter in Gemini could make you travel more. You won't go on a voyage for a long time, but you'll most certainly make many short trips, or you'll have to run a lot of errands. With Jupiter in Gemini, you will most likely see an improvement of your financial situation, dear Taurus. You could get a raise, or maybe you'll have new possibilities of gaining money. Either way, this transit will help you overcome financial problems. You could also purchase or sell a house, some land, or expensive objects. If you work as a real estate agent, as a broker, or anything related to finances and possessions, your career will also benefit from this transit. The only bad news, exactly because everything is going so well, you will start spending a lot of money. Jupiter is in your sign, dear Gemini, something that happens only once in 12 years, so you should try to profit from it as much as you can. This transit will make you much more optimistic and confident. It will probably change the way you see a lot of things. You'll stop pitying yourself and rather look for solutions to your problems. The people around you will notice your new positive attitude, and this fact could improve many aspects of your life. This transit will bring a lot of new opportunities, especially regarding self-improvement. Even so, there are also some bad news. Jupiter in your sign could also make you a little bit overconfident, self-satisfied, or lazy. But don't forget, if you just sit there and wait for something great to happen, it won't. Don't let good opportunities just pass by. And there's also another problem. You could gain weight. Jupiter will be in retrograde motion between October 2024 and February 2025, and you could get good results if you're going on a diet during this time. But as soon as Jupiter will be in direct motion again, it's likely that you'll put on some weight. So please focus on your diet and start working out. Overall, this transit is extremely good for you. But in the end, you are the one to decide to what extent you'll profit from it or not. During the next year, you will undergo a spiritual renewal, dear Cancer. This transit will help you get rid of fears, of negative feelings, and self-destructive activities. If you want to stop smoking or drinking, for example, this is a good time to do that. Meditation, relaxing, doing some yoga or other similar activities will help you regenerate because now you have a deeper connection to your subconscious and inner self. You could also become more interested in psychology, philosophy, and mystical studies. You will also help other people, and charity work will make you happy. Last but not least, Jupiter will now protect you from enemies and negative surprises. It will act like a guardian angel, and it could even bring some good news that you didn't even expect. Two aspects of your life will benefit a lot from this transit, dear Leo: the relationship with your friends and your life goals. The relationship with your friends and acquaintances, as well as with groups of people, will benefit from this transit. You might make some new friends, or you will get to meet people who will have an impact on you or on your life. You spend a lot of time with your friends, and you can be sure that they will help you if needed. At the same time, during the next months, you'll make a huge progress regarding your life goals. You'll find it easier to pursue a certain dream or to put your plans into practice. Especially if you need support from bigger groups of persons, for example because you want to fight for a certain right, this transit will help you. Your career will also benefit from it if you work in a big team with masses of people or if you are involved in social activities. The next year will be great for your career and reputation, dear Virgo. You could get a promotion or find a new job. Even if that's not the case, you'll get a lot of recognition from your bosses, co-workers, or clients. This is also a good time to go on business travels and to improve your professional skills, especially if you need to learn a foreign language or to take a course. Your career will also benefit from this transit if you work in a multinational environment. And last but not least, your chances to get engaged or to marry will increase during the next months. Jupiter in Gemini will help you expand your horizon, dear Libra. You will do this especially by traveling, by being in contact with people from other countries or cultures, and by learning. If you are a student, if you must take exams or get a certificate, the next year will be great for you. Libras who work in the fields related to education and travel or who have business partners from other countries will benefit from this transit too. And one more positive news. If you are involved in a legal fight, there are good chances that the judge will rule in your favor. In the next months, you will also be more interested in studying and discussing topics related to philosophy or religion. You just have to be a little bit careful. You'll want to convince everybody that only your point of view is right. I recommend you remain open-minded and to accept other person's opinion. During the next year, your finances will benefit from this transit, dear Scorpio. And I'm not talking about money that you have to earn, but more about money you get from other persons. Maybe you will finally get a loan that you needed, or your financial situation improves thanks to a partnership. Right now, it's all about joint finances and shared possessions. This could mean, for example, that your spouse is getting a raise, something that improves your situation too. On the other side, you must be careful. Probably because everything is going on so well, you tend to spend too much money. Don't forget that this positive transit won't last forever. And last but not least, there is also another positive effect of Jupiter in Gemini. Your sex life will improve. The next year will be all about partnerships for you, dear Sagittarius. This transit usually indicates a positive change regarding the love life. If you are single, you could now meet someone and start a relationship. If you already have a partner, your relationship could get a lot better and you could even get engaged or get married. Even if you should encounter problems and end a relationship, on a long term this will be to your advantage. But other types of relationships will also benefit from this transit. You might sign a new business contract, for example. You'll be quite popular during the next year, and all your endeavors that require support from other people will turn out well. Jupiter in Gemini will strongly influence your daily tasks, your work, and your health, dear Capricorn. You will enjoy your work and you'll be able to make some changes to become more efficient. If you don't have a job, this transit will bring some good news as you could find one now. If you already have a job, you could get a promotion or you'll improve some of your skills, which will impress your bosses and co-workers. You will have great results, especially if you are helping other people or if you have a medicine-related job. In particular, the alternative medicine will benefit from this transit. Your health should be great during the next months, but there's also one problem. There is a tendency to gain weight. Jupiter will be in retrograde motion between October 2024 and February 2025, and you could get good results if you're going on a diet during this time. But as soon as Jupiter will be in direct motion again, it's likely that you will put on some weight. So please focus on your diet and start working out. Happy times are just around the corner, dear Aquarius. Jupiter in Gemini will stimulate recreation and amusement, so the next year should be great for you. Your creativity will also get a boost, so it's a good time to focus on your hobbies or on projects that demand a lot of creativity. If you work in a field where creativity is required, especially if you are an artist or a craftsman, your career will also benefit from this transit. But Jupiter will now influence your love life and the relationship to children too. If you are single, there are good chances that you'll meet someone and start a new relationship. If you already have a partner and or children, you'll enjoy spending time with your loved ones, especially going on trips, camping, and other outdoor activities. During the next year, Jupiter in Gemini also favors pregnancy and childbirth, so you could become a parent. On the negative side, this transit will make you feel overconfident when it comes to taking risks, especially if you like betting, playing poker for money, and so on. Try to be less enthusiastic even if you win small amounts of money, because your luck won't hold forever. If you want to move to another home or to improve your living situation, the next few months will be great for you, dear Pisces. Jupiter's transit through Gemini favors everything related to your home and to your family. Since Jupiter symbolizes expansion, your family might grow, for example because someone will become a parent. Or maybe your relatives and friends will visit you a lot during the next months. Either way, it won't get boring. Your relationship to your family and to your roots will improve. Talking about your home, let me tell you that things look great. You could now renovate your apartment or move in a new house. If you're trying to buy, sell, or rent a house or apartment, you'll be able to close a good deal.